What's up? Welcome back. So, now we're about to talk about the one time I was in, I actually went to jail. And I was at this one jail called Wilshire Jail in Hawaii. High maximum security jail and all of that, you know. There's a few nice amenities over there, but, you know, maximum security for the most part. And that was the jail I was at. And I had been at this jail for about a couple of years, you know, 4 to 5 years, you know, just chilling. You know, I'd made a reputation around that jail, you know. People kind of knew me for everything I was doing, you know. They knew I was pretty all right at music, and you know, making my art and everything, you know, just having, it was jail, but I was having a good time, you know what I mean? So it was one day on one sunny, nice, beautiful, deep fried afternoon. We were all of the inmates, we were at the lunch table, and I just couldn't really, you know, escape like the smell that was hitting my nose at the time, and it was really bothering the ever-living shit out of me. So as we were all just sitting down, I threw my plate of food even though it was already on the table, I picked it up and slammed it, just because I was so angry. And I was like, look, I stood up and everybody just darted their attention to me. All the prisoners just darted their attention to me. Like, he said, what's his problem? I was like, look everybody. All of you smell like fart water and you need to take a bath. So I have an idea. With all the money I have, because I have a lot more money than you, I have a secret bank that they're allocating funds to me from far away. And I'm gonna use that money to order us a nice good batch of soaps. So all you can just clean yourselves and stop smelling like fart water all the time. And they looked at me and they were like, you know, they looked like they didn't really like my tone and stuff like that, but overall they seemed like they agreed, because hey, I had a pretty nice reputation there. So they were like, hey, how's this soap gonna smell like? And I was like, hey, it's lemon candy scented soaps, and it's gonna be here in 3 days, so get ready, all you stinky motherfuckers. And pretty much everybody rejoiced, you know, even though I like flamed everybody. They were like, hey, we're about to get some soaps. Wow, soap. It was like they never, you know, it's like they never heard about soap before in their lives or ever used it. So anyways, after a few minutes and everybody was done rejoicing, one of the prettiest ladies I had ever seen in the jail just walked up to me, and she was like, you know, I have some soaps of my own, and I'm not smelling like all the rest of these other people in here, but I'm really excited for your soaps. I'm first in line for when those soaps arrive. And I was like, all right. She sounded serious. I was like, all right, I got you. Let's do this. We shook hands. So 3 days later, the soaps arrive, and I had the soaps on this white table stand, and everybody was just basically lined up to get their soaps. And I wasn't charging anybody. These were free soaps. So So they walked up to me. I was like, handing them their soaps. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. And finally got to the lady that approached me last time. Her name is Leslie. We're gonna give her a code name, Leslie. Blonde hair, Leslie. We're gonna give her that code name. She approached me and she was like, all right. She took one of her soaps. She tried to take another 2 more soaps, and I was like, no. Only 1 per prisoner, okay? So as the line cleared and everybody got their soaps, I had to sneak out. There was like a good amount of soaps left underneath the table, and so I had to basically just hide it and put it in my bag and then take it to my jail cell. And it appears the only person that really saw me was Leslie. And so later on, she came to my jail cell. She knocked on the jail cell bars, and she was like, I saw you take all those extra soaps. You ain't slick. So I was like, basically from that point, I knew that I was screwed, and I knew that if I wanted to keep on trying to, hide it and stuff, I would just be screwed even more. So I basically made an announcement almost immediately to everybody out there through the jail cell. I was like, hey y'all, I got more soaps in this bitch. And so, yeah, they were everybody were rejoicing. They're like, hey, but why the fuck did you lie though? Why'd you do that? Man, you nothing but a sleazy little twat. And so, I was like, easy, everybody. If you want more soaps, all you gotta do is just ask me, alright? And I'll give you some more soaps. So that's like probably the perfect thing to order at a prison, don't you think? Soaps. Anyways, so by the time I got to, we call this, on Sundays, are National Shower Days in that prison cell. And that is when everybody in the prison cell, in the jail, they just go to that shower, and we all have to shower. Nobody can skip that day. It's basically like church, but for a shower. And those are every Sundays. So when it came to Sunday, this was our first day to use the soaps. And everybody enjoyed the soap. Everybody was happy about it. And everybody was having a good time. It smelled like lemon-scented candy. It was just filling the air. Everybody was happy. Even the prison guards were jealous. They were like, God damn, you guys are having it too good up in here. We gotta do something to you all to ruin the experience. But they just couldn't, because just the soap was just that good. So, but the person that I noticed was enjoying themselves the most with the soap was Leslie. And I could tell, and everybody could tell, from the huge moans that she made by applying that soap on her body. Like, all the time she was just like, I'm not saying that's how, people moan, but but yeah, so eventually, after a good while, we finished the shower, and we all headed back to our jail cells. And before you know it, the only person that didn't really leave at the time that everybody else left was Leslie. She seemed to be enjoying herself with the soap that much. It took her about like an hour. It was like an hour later till we left, after we left the shower. She spent a whole another hour in the shower, and we just kept hearing those loud noises. And so, as we heard the shower stop, as I heard the shower stop, because I had the cell kind of closest to the shower, I get a knock on my jail cell door. Bang, 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 bang. I say, who is it? Because I'm trying to take a nap. I say, who is it? And I open the door slightly, but then a hand just opens it fully. Just slams it open. And then she just hangs out of my door. She's like, you got any more soaps? And I was like, I said, yeah, I got some more soaps for you. I picked up one soap and I handed it to her because at that point she was just kind of scaring the crap out of me. And so then later it was about later on that Wednesday. Got into the shower again. Everything was okay, but then I realized that she asked for another soap after the shower that day. She asked for another soap. And she basically ran through soaps pretty much every single day. Until the next Sunday, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you this one last soap because I'm running out of my stash. I'm gonna give you this one last soap, and I can't give any more after that. And we came to an agreement. So then I hop into the shower, and I realized that I'm running out of soaps too. So I bring a stash, I bring some of my extra stash into the shower itself with a bag, and I make sure to conceal it. And I put it on the floor. And I use my main soap, and I take my shower, and everybody's taking their shower. Boop, 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 boop. Somebody's, some people are singing, everybody's having a good time. Some people are singing church tunes. Boop, 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 boop. Some people are singing anime openings. Yeah, okay, let me stop. But yeah, before you know it, after a little while, I hear my name get called out pretty loudly, and it was by Leslie. She said, "Hey man, I'm gonna need another one of those soaps." I was like, I'm sorry. The agreement that we had, I can't give you any more soaps. I'm so sorry. I can't do that anymore. And then she just kept on asking and asking and asking. I was like, all right, fine, until I agreed. I was like, fine. And so she matrix jumped over 4 different shower stalls to get to me. I mean, she did a jump. She did one jump over one stall. I mean, just a superhuman jump. She scared the other inmates. She was like, well, they were like, whoa. She even did a backflip over one of them. She was like, and until she got to my stall, she had just slid under there like an action movie, and she stood there, and I was like, I told her, I was like, this is illegal in here, right? You can't just, I was gonna throw it to you. I didn't know you were gonna do all this. I was like, but I guess here you go. So I pulled out one for my stash. But then I saw that she was eyeing that stash of soaps on the ground pretty heavily. I mean, just, man. And it caught my attention. I was kind of scared. It's like, you all right? Here you go. And she took it. She was like, all right, thanks. Appreciate it. and she looked like she was about to, make her way down. So I went to the ground, and let me tell you, I felt this whole time I felt completely safe. For the most part, like somebody was basically in the same stall as me, but it was like, this girl, nothing could go wrong. What is the worst that could happen? Somebody just backflipped over, like 4 stalls to get to my shower stall, and then creeped underneath the bottom just to get some soap. But I still feel safe. Hey, and this is happening in prison. I still feel safe. And so as I go to the ground to tie my extra stash of soaps, I think you know what happened next. As I'm tying it to continue my shower, I feel something very peculiar near my bum. And I don't know what this lady was working with, but it was something terrifying, because I felt it near my bum, in my bum, and it was going ferociously. It was attacking ferociously. And I was like, and I think you know the rest. And this had never happened to me before in that prison. I thought that I had the biggest reputation, that nobody would mess with me like that, until that happened. And at that point, I was basically I was just screwed. I was trapped. I was like, well, I guess this is just what's happening. And that continued for about 72 hours. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink, just the bum work. And so it was at the time it was finished. Maybe it was not exactly 72 hours, but that's how long it felt like. I just collapsed to the floor. And I was just a heaping pile of mess. And I was just limp. I was like, the other inmates were trying to see if I was alive and stuff. I was finished. So lots of work were done to make sure that was kept hidden, and anyways, later on that night, after that whole thing happened, that whole ordeal happened, I got a knock on my door. It was from Leslie, and she apologized. She's like, I'm sorry for what happened. Here's your extra soaps. I didn't even know that she stole more soaps, but she got more soaps. And so she handed me the soaps, and I said, it's okay. Felt pretty good. Can't lie. She looked at me like, wait, what? I was like, nothing. Anyways, you want to sit down? Talk about something? She's like, yeah. So there was long, awkward silence for about 5 minutes. Until she asked me, she was like, so do you like anything other than soaps? I said, well, I like a couple TV shows, and I showed her my TV shows that I liked, and we started watching. And, had a good time. Got to really know each other, and she wasn't that bad, Apart from, the whole you know, ramming. Apart from the whole, you know, all of that, you know, she was actually a pretty cool person. Yeah. So by the end of that, and you know, we were done watching the TV because yeah, I did have it. I had one of the nicer, you know, jail cells in the whole jail. I probably had the nicest room there. So after we were done watching TV, we had basically developed a relationship, and she came to my door, you know, pretty much every day, close to every day. And we watch anime and movies and stuff, and yeah, and we split the stash. We split the stash of soaps. And, yeah. What? Mm-hmm. And finally, when we were released from the prison, the soap company, you know, that the soap company that made those soaps got word of the incident, and it was this whole big news on CNN and everything like that. And so they basically like flew us out, and you know, to promote their soaps, and it was like that was the story that was used to promote their soaps, and like they made like $1 billion off of that, which is like, it's pretty cool. Like we became American heroes for that story. So yeah, yep, that's what happened. Subscribe.